little under the weather today. I've been having sneezing frenzies all morning, so me if I had to randomly push mute and sneeze or go quiet for a minute. So today we're in chapter 6. We're going through that information. A lot of it is repeated information that we kind of cover in the nutrition section with Dr. Abrahamson and Dr. Grong. And so please make sure the repetition in materials and what you will need to know and what you are responsible for. The other few housekeeping, you have your, what is it? Quiz Friday. So make sure that you're available between 9 and 10. It will launch. Those of you who are still having technical issues, again, please have those issues. Try to have those issues fixed before the quiz launches. And when you email help desk, make sure that you CC myself and Dr. Abrahamson so that we know you have a ticket with the help desk and also that you're having those issues. So if you have foreseen issues like computer troubles, please let us know today that you are on campus so that we will make arrangements for you. Please do not email us after the fact with issues that we can't help or so also make sure that you get your meetings in. Like Friday is the last day with TAs, and so make sure you do those so that we can see some of the issues you're having technical wise, or if your assignment's just not showing up or posting. Please let us know those so that it does not affect your grade at the end of the semester. Any questions on housekeeping? Also, today, myself and Dr. Abrahamson will discuss the extra credit for GOAT Day this coming up Saturday. So those of you who were looking for extra credit, asking for extra credit, make sure you attend GOAT Day. The information is already circulating, but we will send an announcement with follow-up information and the instructions that you will need to adhere by to get the extra credit for attending GOAT Day. I will be in attendance, so I will definitely be looking for you all, those of you who decide to partake in this extra credit assignment. Any questions so far over what I just said or covered?
What was the last thing you said before the GOAT Day thing? You said something about like the 15th or Friday or something. Not the quiz.
Friday to
grades
schedule
were
appointments. Eli, you're
okay.
already good.
Okay.
You're already good.
Okay. Thank you.
Any more questions about housekeeping? Yes, no, maybe. Anything in the chat, TAs?
No, ma'am.
No.
All right, let's get started. Hopefully, like I said, this is a review for you all. All this information you have seen before. So digestion, the physical, chemical, and enzymatic means the body uses to render a feed stuff ready for absorption. The process is accomplished in 3 ways. Mastication, which is basically doing peristalsis, the chemical action of hydrochloride, the action of enzymes. For number 1, the physical or mechanical action of chewing and muscular action for through the digestive tract. For 2, its chemical action. So the hydrochloric acid, which is used by the stomach to denature proteins and bile used in small intestines to digest fats. So those enzymes and hydrochloric acid is definitely important to the digestion process. The action of enzymes, which are very important to the digestion process as well, they increase the speed of the breakdown of the chemical bonds in foods by adding the water molecules. The hydrochloric acid is then increased, and the process of breaking down the food occurs. Enzymes, proteins capable of catalyzing reactions associated with specific substrates. Enzymes can be produced by the digestive tract and accessory organs, is considered your liver and pancreas, or by microorganisms living in symbiosis with the animal. So in the chat, direct message me. If you all did your reading, you should know or be familiar, be able to at least take a good stab at it. What is the type of blank animal? Put that in there twice. Sorry, has dictates what the animal successfully use as feed. So it's the type of blank an animal has dictates what the animal can successfully use as feed. I see one correct answer so far. Two correct answers. Good job. Yeah, a few more seconds to take a stab at it. All right, cut that answer off at 9:08. So the answer is the type of digestive system an animal has dictates what the animal can successfully use as feed. So the more complicated the feed, the more oh Jesus, why am I stuff repeating? I'm sorry, y'all. The more complicated the feed, the more complicated the digestive system, such as animals that consume forage. So your forage animals are going to have your more complex system. So your classification of digestive system, monogastrics on or non-ruminant, having only one stomach. So make sure you know terminology like that that's going to be consistent across the course. And you will need to know past the course. Cecum is a pouch-like structure at the beginning of the large intestine. Ruminant hoofed animals that have a rumen and chew cud. So some terminology, again, carnivore, animal that mostly eats meat. Omnivore, animal that selects a diet of both plant matter and meat. Consumes both. Herbivores only eat plant material. Cellulase, an enzyme that specifically attacks and digests cellulose. Cellulose, a carbohydrate composed of thousands of glucose molecules that form support structures of plants. Cellulases, they are also able to digest plant material with the help of cellulase provided by bacteria during the fermentation process. So those two gotta go hand in hand. Excuse me. So mastication, the process of chewing. So make sure you familiarize yourself with these. So again, another quick question in the chat. Direct message me. Excuse me. Hold on. Excuse me. Blank is the means an animal uses to bring food into its mouth. Is the first step of digestion. Sorry, I'm talking on my mute. Okay, those of you, cut that question off. And those of you who guessed prehension is has the correct answer. Prehension, cows, as you see on the left, uses a flexible tongue to bring forage into the mouth and cuts the forage off with the lower incisors, teeth, and upper dental pad. And sheep, which is on the right, uses their teeth and their upper lip to permit them to graze close to the ground, which can lead to mob grazing, as they call it, or overgrazing. So they're essentially grazing it all the way down to a bare minimum to where it's not able to regrow. And so that's why it's important to have a good rotational grazing plan in place and you're consistent with it, so that if you have sheep, you're not letting them overgraze land or a pasture by leaving them on there too long, because they can eat it all the way down to the dirt, to the bare minimum. That's not good for regrowth. So in your book for figure 6.1, make sure you can identify mammalian digestive tracts. It is several in there, so maybe on a test or quiz, we'll show you a digestive tract of a mammal. You should be fairly familiar with it, where you can identify them. Carnivores chew only to the extent needed to reduce the size of their meat, so it can be swallowed. Then it's further broken down. Herbivores need thorough mastication of their food, mostly foraged, to allow bacteria enzymes access to cellulose. And so if you look at the structure and makeup of, say, a plant, you'll see where how cellulose is structured and how it needs to be chewed and further broken down. Bolus, anybody want to tell me what it is? Anybody know?
marble precursors to doubles the digestive tract.
Can't really make out what you're saying. Can somebody tell me what he said if you heard it?
I didn't hear what he said, but isn't it like a chewed food that you swallow?
Correct. Right. So just something as that. Um, so ruminants, we can call what our food what we swallow bolus also, but ruminants form this, then swallow without chewing, and then they later regurgitate food, then thoroughly chew it. This is a key element for ruminant animals, and that distinguishes them. And so this regurgitation process, and you often hear it as chewing the cud, and so that's what the ball of food that goes down. That's what it's called. Salivation, the elaboration of the mixed secretion produced primarily by three bilateral pairs of glands in the mouth, known as salivary glands. I'm sorry, I got a bunch of typos today. So three main pairs salivary glands produce saliva is parotoid, below the ear, submaxillary, and sublingually. So this is a picture of a pig's head and its salivary gland system. And so again, it could be either a lecture or a lab exam, you may see a diagram such as this, and you should be able to label where the glands are. So down here, see your sublingual glands down towards the base of the mouth. The parotoid gland is back further, kind of going under the ear, kind of lower, going towards the neck region. And the mandibular gland is right before parotoid, right in the, if you've ever dissected, I'm not sure if you all have dissected piglet yet, but once you do, you'll be able to, I guess, visibly see these. I'm not sure if y'all do that. Have y'all done that thus far? Any of you dissected a piglet?
No, ma'am.
I have, but not the mouth.
What class was that?
That was back when I was in high school.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I kind of know where these glands are located and know the importance of saliva. We just think of it as spit or as gross, but it definitely has a very important role and function when it comes to digestion. It's like the first, second line of defense. So the importance of saliva, like I said, it has definitely a lot of important functions and features. For the first one, and you can find all these in depth within your book, within the chapter 6. They lubricate food so that the animal can chew and swallow. Solvent action dissolves small portions of food, allowing it to come into contact with taste buds and give food taste. So, plays a role in the dissolving breakdown and allowing you to taste the ingredients of foods within your food for animals taste what they're eating. Saliva may also stimulate the nerves. The washing action of saliva cleanses the mouth and prevents decay of leftover food particles in the mouth. Disinfectant enzymes, lysine, which is mostly produced by dogs. This applies a disinfection action that kills bacteria that would harm the teeth and gums. Dogs and other carnivores have especially large amounts of lysozyme. The acid buffer, which is very important to ruminants, they rely heavily on the biome in saliva to buffer the acid produced by the microorganisms in the rumen. The acid would be able to damage the rumen wall if it wasn't buffered by saliva. So it plays. You see a picture here. I don't know if you've ever been in a pasture and you see cattle slobbing or salivating. But this is definitely an important defense mechanism, and you see it looking like this picture, especially when they're chewing the cud. And so that's a time you'll see it happening or taking place. Maintain proper pH. Saliva provides readily available nutrients for rumen microorganisms and help maintain proper pH for the microorganisms to survive and thrive within the stomach, definitely in the rumen. Manufacture protein. Here is a harvested from the blood by salivary glands, and secreted with the saliva. Microorganisms, they use it to manufacture protein. It also prevents ruminal bloat. So if you ever seen an animal that is very cattle that is very bloated, it is not the animals are not very comfortable in bad shape, and it can cause very serious problems if it's gotten out of hand. So the anti-frothing property of saliva helps prevent ruminal bloat from being a daily occurrence. And so it happens, but it kind of reduces the effects, or it reduces it happening daily. Saliva helps to prevent belching. And so it has a lot of different properties that you should be aware of. And like I said, they go into very specific details for each one within your eating. More terminology for you. Proventriculus, the glandular stomach, and bowel. So make sure when you are looking at the different intestinal systems, make sure you know those one or two differences between them and be able to identify what the difference is and would go with particular species or breed or particular species. Excuse me. Abomasum, the true glandular stomach in the rumen. Duodenum, and this should be a repeat from Dr. Abrahamson, what he went through and showing you the videos of the intestinal tract of different animals. It's the first segment of the small intestine. The jejunum, the second and longest portion of the small intestine. Ileum, the last short portion of the small intestine. It's connected to the small intestine. Mucosal membrane, cell layer covered in epithelial cells that both absorb and secrete. Chyme, name given to material consistent of food, saliva, and gastric secretion. Like I said, these first few, besides the last two, should be refresher. All right, swallowing. The passing of food and water from the mouth to the first stomach compartment via the esophagus. And so I'll show you a few videos that's going through different species, their, I guess, swallowing process, because we do it daily and maybe never really think about what is going on, what's the process, why do we swallow the way we swallow, or why feel within our physiology, why things move and occur different.